Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about insect control and the use of neem oil. Now, neem oil is an insecticide, a natural one, botanical, and it's been used for thousands of years in India, mainly to control insects in grain and also on crops that people grow. About 1980s, there was an interest to develop this into a insecticide for the Western world, and much research has been done, and now today we have many products that work quite well. Here at Logis we use quite a bit of neem. So these two products, this one is an insecticide registered with the EPA. The recommendation is for many insects, and it's registered for most of the insects that we deal with here at Logis. And this is a leaf polisher. So this is used to shine your leaves. It's the pure oil, where this one has been registered but also has a emulsifier in it. So oils, if you just put them in water, are going to separate. We need to get that to go into solution. The first thing we need to do is make a dilution of it. And what we would do is use this. This has several different levels of concentrate. It's up to 3 tablespoons to the gallon, or as much as 5, depending upon the insect pressure and the insects you're dealing with. So what we're going to do is put in, right here we have a half a gallon of water. So most of the dilution is per gallon, but this is for a half a gallon. We're going to put in 1.5 tablespoons of this concentrated emulsified oil, and you can see it turns white. That's something that they actually add to the pesticide, so it shows it went into solution. And now there's a couple of ways of applying this. One is that we would make a spray, and to do that we've got to pour off a little bit into our spray bottle. A couple things about neem you want to remember. One is it's an oil, so you never spray that in the sunlight. Always spray it in the evening after the sun is down, or in the early morning. Particularly these that have oil in them can be damaging to the plants. The ones that are extracts, and you'll see crude extract of neem oil, those are the molecule azadirachtin that is isolated for use. And we also use that here at Logis. It doesn't have the effect of oils that kill insects. Those are smothering properties, but it does work on the side of anti-feedant, growth regulator, and so on. And that's the other thing about neem oil. It has lots of modes of action. So if you spray a plant, and what we recommend is spraying the plant every 2 days for 3 times, and it'll soak that neem up into the leaf tissue, and the bugs will be around, but they won't feed on it. So that's one very easy solution. This works really well in the garden for beetles, but it also works on spider mite and very good for whitefly. There's some control with thrip on it. Aphids, not as good for some reason. We generally find aphids coming through the treatments on this. Another thing about neem oil that you need to mention is that it's systemic. So you can actually pour it on the root system, and it's pulled up into the tissue. The thing about these botanicals is they have these specific ways of working, and it doesn't work on everything. It will actually work very well on mealybug, but you'd have to do these repetitive sprayings constantly to get control of it, because mealybug's a complicated bug in that it has a cotton mass, and they hide in the cotton mass, and some of the crawlers are so small you can't see them, and so on. So for those insects, you have to be persistent, but for most insects, this works very well, particularly for mites. If you have spider mites or cyclamen mite and such things as that, using neem oil, the real neem oil, not the extract, works very well. Here is a papaya plant that has some spider mite on it. And so what we want to do is we want to spray the entire plant with it. Mites are always on the bottom of the leaves, so you want to get the bottom, you want to get right up into the crown, you want to spray the stem, and then you spray the top of the plant like so. So we've entirely covered it. Another thing you can do is you can take a plant and you can actually dip it. Now this is a little bit big for this container, but you dip it right in it. There's no way anything's going to make it through that. And dipping is a very effective way for treating them. This is a Viola hederaceae, particularly known for having mite problems. What we would do is we could spray it, although remember the canopy on this is very, very dense. So when you're spraying, it's really hard to get underneath every single leaf. A little plant like this, you simply take it and dip it in, and you've made complete coverage. The other thing you have to remember is you're best to keep your eye on it and go back in 1 week later and do it again. Dipping, not so much spraying, yes, because you may miss one mite. And if one mite gets out and starts going through its life cycle again, you get a reinfestation. Here we have the neem oil as a leaf polisher, and this can be used also to polish your leaves. And if there are some bugs on your leaves and you happen to spray them with it, it does quite well in removing them along with polishing your leaves. And this one here, what we do is we use a dishwashing detergent. The amount we put in is 2 tablespoons of this and 2 teaspoons of this. And this emulsifies it so that most all of the oil goes into solution. And then you can again use it for as a spray, or you can use it as a dip. One other thing that I did mention is the systemic action of this. First off, the azadirachtin is not a contact insecticide. You have to remember that. It is actually has to be ingested by the bug in order for it to work. So when we sprayed these leaves, that neem is going to be pulled into the tissue, and then the bug feeds on it, and that creates the anti-feedant, it creates the disruption of the life cycle, and it also creates a repellent when they bite into it. So what we do is we need to do repeated applications to get that neem oil into that leaf, and it lasts for about a week or even more before the bugs will stop feeding on the plant again. Or you can give it a drink, and it's as simple as just make sure when you do this that you actually get a little bit of water coming out of the bottom of the pot, because you want good saturation of the root system. And now the neem oil is pulled up into the tissue. It's there when the insect starts feeding on it, and again, it, just like your spray, it creates the same repellent, anti-feedant, and life cycle disruption. Generally, this material, you don't want to leave it more than 24 hours before you use it again. So mix up a small batch. Whatever you don't use after 24 hours, you need to discard.